Hey guys, AMSM here, and yes, I have moved into my dorm, but I forgot a few things, so I came back home this weekend and I decided I'd do a review on something I never did before. This will be the first of a series of vintage figures from a company called W. Britton that specializes in high quality hand painted lead figures, and most of these figures I'll be doing are out of production, so they are getting pretty hard to find. For example, this figure himself was made around 2008, which that's actually a fairly long time ago when you think about it. I got him in Independence Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I loved him so much. I became a huge supporter of W. Britton, and it became a pretty decent collection. So I'll kind of just twist him around and I'll hit on some of the highlights of the details that I like. He's very period correct. Everything on him, just as a reenactor, it's kind of fun to go around and look at him and just see they get everything down to the last detail, even the right type of cartridge box that I believe is a Rawls pattern cartridge box, which came into popular service with the Royal Army shortly before the American War of Independence, I believe, and it continued, I believe, up until through the Napoleonic Wars. So that's a neat little tidbit. Another thing is that little black thing right there. If I can get that closer and get that to focus. That device, if that is the correct terminology, let's see if it focuses. That's good enough. Is called a whisk and pick. I can describe it if you don't really understand, but it's a small poker attached to a chain, which that chain is also attached to a brush, and you hang that on one of your buttons that runs along your coat. And that poker and pan and brush is used to clean out and keep your pan clear of clogs so you can continue firing your flintlock. Because often powder can get, I don't know the proper word I'm looking for, but all kind of bunched up and clogged. And it can clog at the touch hole, which can prevent a charge from lighting, which prevents the weapon itself from firing, which basically renders your weapon useless. Which flintlocks were actually notoriously fairly unreliable in less than ideal conditions, such as humidity, rain, basically any kind of precipitation. They had issues. But they were better than, say, the dog lock or the matchlock of earlier days. So who this figure actually is supposed to represent is a soldier of the 80th Regiment of Foot, also known as the Staffordshire Volunteers. And this unit was raised shortly after the French Revolution, and they actually, in response to the French Revolution, they were raised, and they served from the French Revolutionary Wars with the various European coalitions fighting against the French, all the way up until the Zulu Wars, which obviously the uniform went through many changes, but this would depict an early, late 18th century soldier who would have fought on the main battle line. And speaking of his particular unit, I want you to focus on the yellow, red, and white on the center of his coat and around his arms. That is called a lace, lacings. I've heard it said both ways. I believe just the proper word of saying it is lace. And laces in European and American armies of the 18th and 19th centuries would actually tell you what regiment the soldier is from. So this lacing actually shows that he is from the 80th Regiment of Foot, so kind of a quick identifier, kind of like how modern militaries use patches or symbols to depict their certain divisions or regiments and what have you. So kind of, it's a quick review, I know, I just thought I'd get back into the style of doing reviews for a little bit, but I like how W. Britton brings the figure to life kind of with the dirt and the blood on the pants, which I believe that's supposed to be blood, the rips and kind of the detailing on the base, which kind of gives it a real feel. So even the dust on the shoes, which that might just actually be dust because he's been on the shelf for a little while. But he is a very high quality figure, very well done. He's always been a centerpiece on any shelf I have, just kind of because he's one of my first figures, so he kind of holds a dear place in my heart. So an average W. Britton figure will run you about upper 30s to low 40s, depending on an irregular infantryman like him would run about upper 30s, 40s. But he's out of production now, so I don't know how much he would cost today, but I will put W. Britton's website in the description because sometimes they will give places where to find figures. And if you want to find a certain figure, name him in the comments and I can try to find places for you if you're actually interested in getting him. So if you've liked seeing W. Britton reviews, please let me know, and I'd love to keep doing this vintage series. and I'll probably be getting into doing actual proper reenacting videos, going through the equipment of a British soldier in the Napoleonic Wars soon, or the equipment of a Mexican soldier during the Texas War of Independence, and other such things. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.